Well, good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen, all in crypto here, and welcome back, guys, for another daily cryptocurrency market update. Every single day at 1 p.m. If you were new around here, we release an update just like this one to help you guys stay up to date with the latest and greatest things happening within the crypto space and also the broader market. So I just want to start off by wishing everyone a fantastic Friday. The weekend has arrived, and I'm hoping you're all going to have a successful day wherever you are and whatever it is you're doing. So we've got a lot to get into. We're going to be starting the video off by looking at a clip of RFK, who is running for the presidency in the United States, talking about Bitcoin. And he really understands that freedom of transaction is a right, and actually a right that Bitcoin is enforcing. So we're going to start there. He's also massively against CBDCs. Not sure that that is going to fare very well with the establishment. However, from a people's point of view, and I'm always very careful with politicians. Politicians are very slippery. Not saying that he is. I actually think, and I've watched a number of podcasts. I watched his Tiger Belly with Bobby Lee, one of my favorite, actually, guilty pleasure podcasts to watch. And I really enjoyed it. And I do think he's a very genuine guy. But I'm always cautious with politicians because they are slippery in nature of the fact that they have to watch what they say publicly because they are trying to win a position and win over the hearts and minds of people. But we'll dive into that clip. Then we're going to be looking at Bitcoin's price action. We're still short-term really uncertain. We can see a deeper correction, or we know at what point actually Bitcoin's going to turn around here. And it's not quite there yet. You've got a kind of interesting concession of head and shoulders. This was the first inverse head and shoulder that we pointed. It hit target. And then we also highlighted a second one. This looks like a wick, but it's not. That actually perfectly hit target again. And I'm unsure, Bitcoin has to really clear that 28,500 mark and then go for the 30K. The big taking is going to be really taking out this kind of level here. And then it's full send, ladies and gentlemen. And actually, you're then starting a bigger move to the upside. We have a video coming out with More Crypto Online, who's an Elliotician, to give his technical views on the market tomorrow. We're going to probably be releasing that around about 10 a.m. UK time. So do watch out for that. Make sure you smash that notification bell. Then we're going to be talking about Binance. Now, we like Binance and we like CZ, but we've never once, and people get annoyed that we like Binance and we like CZ. I think Binance has done very well despite everything. And we think CZ is generally, and there are some areas of concern, but we think he's more of a net positive than he is negative for the space. And I don't know why people are so zealous about the crashing of Binance. However, the BNB token is, of course, really a lot of what's being anchored on when it comes to Binance. So we'll be discussing that. Even though we like CZ and we like Binance, I've never once endorsed the exchange, right? Now, I happen to hold some funds on Binance, but I do believe in self-custody, and that's one of the great things, and the properties and the rights that this market gives back to you is the ability to self-custody your own value, and that's something that's massively overlooked. Then we're going to be talking about a little bit of boring macro. You've got non-farms today. We'll look at a few predictions based on, I believe this is Bloomberg Terminal, and then we'll wrap things up with a little bit of comments from JP Morgan's Marco. Always interested in what he has to say. So let's get this show on the road, and let's start things off with a clip from Robert Kennedy talking about Bitcoin and really what's going on here and the fact that it is a right to transact freely.
Freedom of transaction is as important as freedom of speech. And that, Bitcoin is this, I can see also the trajectory toward central bank digital currencies.
Sure.
And the power that will give nations, this ultimate power over, whether we live or die ultimately.
Right.
And I understood that we need a currency that is a freedom currency, a currency that is independent and that can't be controlled by the government. Freedom of transaction.
Very encouraging to see, and there's quite a few people actually already in government. We know we got a new speaker, third most powerful man in or man or woman, I should say, in the United States, actually, who's crypto friendly. And of course, Robert Kennedy's doing a lot for crypto. And, he's absolutely dead on. We love Bitcoin, even though we're not a Bitcoin maxi. We think Bitcoin maxis are very closed-minded. They don't really understand the broader movement that is distributed ledger technology. That's my opinion. Argue with me if you want. I welcome it, in fact. But we love Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the thing that attracted me initially. for the reasons that Robert Kennedy's talking about, and we think it's going to do very well as a result of that. And we've already got BlackRock's Larry Fink saying that it's a transcendent currency. Let's dive into a bit of price action and get it out of the way of. Bitcoin's still very much tied to the broader markets, tied to liquidity, of course. We can see and we know, and it's very interesting actually, the interview that we did with More Crypto Online, it's nice to have a different technical perspective that actually aligns with yours, even though you've come to it from two different methods. We ultimately think stocks are going higher. We think gold's going higher. We think crypto's going higher into a recession. And we think that rates lag. We've looked at a whole study of these things. It was very interesting and encouraging to hear his take on the dollar, because I'm a bit unsure on the dollar, but he can see a bit more of a correction that I'll let him explain tomorrow. Bitcoin's still a bit of a paper bag, and it's still in this range, okay? And it's got to show us the ability to get out of it. Or it's got to show us that it doesn't have the ability, and then you're looking for that longer and deeper correction, which would still be part of structure that we believe is bullish and is going to take you to the upside. We'll be buying like hell if the downside scenario, head and shoulders. It's also got confluence with a deeper A, B, and C. Does correct. We'll be buying like crazy. You know, the revolution is here, guys. It's just a case of turbulence in regards to getting to the destination. I think we all agree that it's going on. And altcoins look a little bit more turny-uppy. We'll see. I think Bitcoin's really got to set that pace that's going to be set by the broader markets. Talking about that before we get into Binance, let's just cover the macro. You do have non-farm payroll today. Okay, and this was yesterday, sorry. So you had unemployment claims yesterday, which came out better than expected. ADPs came out worse, but I don't think ADPs are going to be a real good representation of what's going to happen here. The forecast is 171,000 job openings, so you are seeing a bit of a decline. These are some of the forecasts. And the medium estimate is, of course, 170. High estimate is 250. We'll see. It could be a blow out the water. It could not be. I don't really have much of a read, but this is going to shape things. And this is going to shape things in the sense that it's going to guide monetary policy. And monetary policy is what's guiding the markets. And we saw and are still seeing the fallout for markets, most notably the debt market and the housing market. So where's my debt? TLT we'll use. This ascent was caused after Jerome Powell's speech, along with housing, which broke. Okay, now they're getting a bit of a relief, but nothing spectacular. You know, debt is almost doomed, I think, until they revert or until something happens and it becomes more of a recessionary trade. And even then, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out this time. But this is all filtering into the crypto markets and it's stalling. But I've got to say, Bitcoin's showing strength against the likes of the S&P, you know, which has gone off. Bitcoin's almost done literally the inversion of it. And is that because maybe with Bitcoin, there's a kind of anti-system that's getting hit really hard trade there? I don't know. Let's move on to Binance before we wrap things up. This is from Dillian Leclerc. New from Forbes. Binance controls 76% of the outstanding BNB supply as of the 8th of the 31st, 2023. So that, of course, is a couple months old now at this point, 2 months old, or just under. We arrive at this figure by combining disclosed token issued to founding team along with probabilistic analysts that has identified previous secret wallets. So this is really a guess, to be honest. This was the full article, how Binance turned its failed token ICO into $1 billion windfall. There's lots of speculation, this is from Crypto Bullet, that are comparing, and they do look very similar, BNB with FTT. However, I fundamentally think there's a difference between what Binance does and has been doing to what FTX did. And I think we found that out. People compare Binance with FTX. I don't think other than the fact that their crypto exchange is largely comparable. And there is, of course, the issue, depending on how much you trust this. Binance claiming they've got $80 billion in assets, 16 billion in Bitcoin, 5 billion in ETH, 18 billion in USDT, 7 billion in BNB, 5 billion in altcoins, and Binance holds 750 million USDC. Now, I want to see Binance succeed, and that may piss some people off, but I'm going to say it anyway. And I want to see CZ succeed. And I don't think that people understand that if Binance had a similar failing to what FTX had, it would not be good for crypto in the slightest. If I'm to rank exchanges right now in terms of trustability, and again, practice self-custody if you can, guys. If you head over to allincrypto.com, and also if you join my group, allincrypto.com. All the information is free. Of course, that's our website where we publish news daily. You know, we are publishing more and more content on self-custody because I do believe it's the way, and I think that it's a way of protecting yourself, and it's a right that you should have and you should explore. But I don't want Binance to fail. I don't think they will. We don't endorse Binance, but we actually think thus far that they've been impressive in terms of the kind of storm that they've managed to overcome. And we wish CZ all the success in the world and Binance. And we need an exchange that can be trusted and that can honor withdrawals like they've done. So we'll see. But this is still, of course, something that we've got to pay attention to and see what happens. And actually, I can definitely see a short scenario for Binance, more so than I can other coins, given, you know, where it's at and what it's doing. Last little bit we've got for you guys is JP Morgan's Marco braces for a 20% market plunge, delivers recessionary warnings. We have fundamentally and been spot on, if I do say so myself, disagreed with the bears this year. We got back into the market this year and we've been very validated on that. And the reason that we've been able to spot an uptrending market is due to the fact that we understand the nature of rates and the lagged effect that they have. And we've also studied rates in relation to the S&P. People just simply ignore data, hard evidence. And it winds me up. And we don't hate you if you're a bear. On the contrary, we need you. I need a opposing opinion to weigh my own up against. And we live in a world where everyone's got this kind of idea that they need to be right. You don't. In fact, the smartest people that I know are often wrong. The reason that they're successful, though, however, is because they listen to other people, they're open-minded, and they'll change their opinion when somebody puts a better one forward. This idea of doubling down, we get criticized on the short time terms for saying, okay, we're uncertain. You know, 1 minute we might be bullish, then we might see some in the charts, and then that leads us to be bearish. We get criticized for flip-flopping, is what people call it. You've misunderstood the whole concept of how you play the markets. But just exploring some of the points that he brings up, he's calling for a 20% sell-off. According to the institutional investor, half of Hall of Famer, sorry, dyslexic in me, interest rates are creating a breaking point for stocks, and choosing cash at 5.5% returns in money markets and short-term treasuries is key protection in strategy right now. This is the overarching thing right now with the markets, right? We can relate it to crypto. You're getting more for your crypto, for your dollars, don't move in dollar terms, in terms of a percentage APY than you do on most of your staking protocols. And there's a lot more risk that you hold with the staking protocols at a time when things are very uncertain and the markets don't like uncertainty. You have to contend with that and compete with that and factor that into the broader markets and the forces that affect them. And that's what we try and do every single day on this channel. So just to round things up and come back to Bitcoin, still uncertain until you break this range. It's positive. It's moving to the right side, but it's got to get above. You know, a hard rejection here is going to set you up for that continuation to the downside. And it's interesting that you've got kind of a concession of head and shoulders that have been hit. We'll see. I would personally have liked to have seen this. You know, sorry. And then you sort of trend down a little bit, because if you look at whether you're an Elliottician, whether you're a Dow theorist, this is a downtrend with your pullbacks of the broader trend ascending, and this is your uptrend. Your pullbacks in a structure descending. So I wanted to see descending structure, descending structure, descending structure. Not potentially this, but we'll see. If it shows us the strength that we need, happy days. We have been looking into, I'm going to take my draws off here because I've got some pretty sensitive draws on, GBTC. GBTC looks like it wants higher. Maybe that's a reflection of Bitcoin. GBTC, by the way, guys, bit of an opportunity here if you want to take it. If not, doesn't bother me. It's still trading at a 18% discount from the Bitcoin that the shares actually represent. And of course, with an ETF getting ever closer, that gap may close. So that's really what we've got for you guys. An extensive update. Non-farm is going to be interesting today. It's going to be coming out half an hour after this video. And on that note, I'm going to absolutely love and leave you guys. I wish you all a wonderful Friday, a fantastic Friday, a fruitful Friday. And I'll see you all in the next. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you shortly.